Well, YouTube, what's going on? Welcome, hello, welcome back. It's another point of view video, unedited from me. Late into a Saturday. I am tired, and I'm not even hiding it from you. Yeah, I'm tired. Still adjusting to day shift, I have to admit. We are listening to The Astounding Eye of Rita by Anur Brahim? Anwar? Anyhow, it's really cool, very Middle Eastern sort of vibe. I will tell you that I changed the position of these towers multiple times today. I didn't film anything. I did RTA, or real-time analysis of the frequencies using base frequency sweeps, essentially trying to identify the null and resonant frequencies of my room, not just through calculation, but through trial and error. So I moved, let me do a little bit more dynamic video here. So I moved them all the way back to the wall this way, give or take 5 inches, 4 inches, and then all the way that way, minus the pads that I have in the corner. So there's some foam pads in the back corner there. I removed one and put them back here. So now we have foam in there instead of the cardboard. So that's cool. I have one of these panels that I made behind here. So those are porous and they have felt on them. There's another one there. More pads there. And then there's another pad or a panel that I made behind here. So it's got like those holes in it. Sorry for the angle. So I just made those. They are gonna sit behind the curtain there. Sort of. It's a very awkward video, I have to admit. Anyhow, lots of movement is my point. I moved the towers all the way back, all the way to the side, measure the frequencies, then I moved them all the way up to almost here, and then measure the frequencies all the way against the wall. And then I put them 4 inches away from the wall, but halfway, like all the way in, almost like right here. And I ended up with a lot of the same frequency problems. So let me back all the way up in my room. The room is like 10.2 feet wide, 10 foot 2 inches, by 8 feet roughly, by front to back. To this wall, because you can see that there's another like 24 inches here. So to this point, to there, it's about 13. But we know that the windowsill also adds 12 inches, and it's not the whole room, it's only like part of this space, some of which I have filled up, and it's not even all the way to the floor, it's only up to about there. And then on this side, forgive my movement, again, very awkward video. On this side, we have a closet, which is open and filled with clothes and stuff. So anyways, so that adds some space over here, but then this is also not symmetrical. It's only part of the wall. So very sort of typical of an apartment bedroom. Door, closet, your space, window, you know what I mean? So it's very common for a lot of people to have. So I wanted to figure this out a little bit. I mean, this is nice because it adds the width of soundstage that I like. Where they are right now, it's truly remarkable. Soundstage and imaging is very wide. It's got depth through the middle. It's got precise instrumentation across the front. Vocals are dead center. You can close your eyes and kind of like hear everything moving. But I have lots of bass problems. So that's typical of a lot of small rooms. And the reason why I wanted to dance and move everything around is I wanted to see how much of a problem I have here because if I move to the middle of the room, and I'm not going to put my chair in the middle of the room unless I absolutely have no options, what I can do is toe these in so I have like an equilateral triangle. I don't know what the measurements are. There's the measuring tape right there, but how far apart they are and how far back equilateral is one of those rules. They say that you're supposed to have an equilateral triangle to your listening position. So does anybody want to see how big? No, I'm just kidding. Does anybody want to see the listening distance? Let's go across this way. It's probably safer. So I'm looking across the room. So we are about 6 foot, maybe 7, almost 7 feet. So we'll hold this out and we can see that even from there, that listening position, I'm a little bit short. My actual listening position should be here. So about, and I don't want to scratch my speaker, but actually pretty good tape measure. So there it's on the waveguide, and we can see that I'm about 6 or 7 inches too far behind. So I could move my chair up and then see what kind of, I'm going to turn it down for that song, sorry for the view. So that's Alicia Keys. That's probably going to get me copyright blocked if I don't talk through the whole thing. So I could essentially move my chair up a little bit, which might give me a little bit more of that spaciousness. But I don't know that it's going to solve my bass issues, because right across the middle of the room at certain frequencies, because of the width and height and depth of the room, there are resonant frequencies that build up, and that's because of the geometry of the space. This room has a natural sort of frequency threshold. Because of the dimensions, whichever frequencies they are, I think I have one around 41. I definitely have one at about 63, and then I have another group of frequencies around 80, and then they get a little bit more closer and closer together as you move up the frequency chain, because it's like a comb or a harmonic. So 61, 62, not so good. It was at 70 before, but 70 is more like a vertical thing. So I took some foam out, trying to absorb across this way. It's the best I can do for now. There are some plans to maybe put something in the window well, maybe some sort of a cover for the closet, maybe some frequency absorbers across the back here, left and right of my listening position, but also need something on the ceiling here to absorb those frequencies on this end. So if I don't really know how it works, to be honest with you. I haven't looked into how the frequency absorption sort of ratios work. A lot of studios will have it all around their listening position at one end of the room, and then the back end of the room is all just left to its own devices. So I need something that handles between 40 and 70, or between 60 and 70 across this middle area, because that's where I'm getting the 60 hertz sort of thing, like right in the middle of the room. On this side and this side of the room, it's fine, but right in the middle where they null out frequencies this way, it's really bad. And then some of them have a resonance that go from front to back this way. So each direction has its own sort of problems. And if you eliminate or absorb, somehow eliminate reflections from one of the two sides, then you can essentially negate the fact that they will cancel each other out in the middle. So if they're absorbed from left and right, then all you have is the energy from the speakers. Top to bottom, same thing. All you have is the energy from the speakers. I'm getting definitely left and right, but also front to back because the energy is moving from front to back here. So maybe some sort of a panel behind my head and definitely something behind the window, but then I also want to have something above the towers on this side to deal with this kind of cancellation. Anyhow, long story short, I moved and experimented a lot. I moved the towers all the way out to here. The bouncing and reflection sounded really great, but I lost some of the low end. So moving them back got my low end again. Less interference with 60 and 70 hertz. Low end, like 30 hertz and below is still okay, but there's not much pressurization. These towers are rated to about 34, and then below that they drop off. So subwoofers maybe, and essentially what I'm doing is I'm evaluating the whole room in anticipation of getting the bookshelves and or smaller towers with subwoofers, so I know where to put my subwoofers in order to compensate for this problem that I have. Now, whether I'm going to get one subwoofer or two, or where I'm going to put it in the room kind of thing, I might put one near field, like one there, halfway through the room, so it compensates this way. I might have to put them in the middle of the room, sort of behind the amp or somewhere behind that way. It's hard to tell yet. Jay was telling me that if I have destructive resonant frequencies in the room, adding subs might actually make it worse, because then I'll have even higher amplitude bass frequencies, and when they couple together, it'll be even less bass. So I have to be really careful how I sort it out and how to measure it. So that's the day. That's my Saturday. What are we listening to today? I have, for those who are curious, the word of the day. You guys know how I do word of the day. Today's word of the day is playlist. I have this playlist that I've accumulated. Look how many hours. 275 hours. I don't know how many songs it is. Doesn't say how many's in the playlist. But that's on Spotify. Likely will be transcribed over to Qobuz at some point. You can follow that and get some best of the best recordings. I essentially just browse through 20 different playlists and then put all of those songs in one playlist. Very, very cheated. Anyways, they're all there. So word of the day is playlist. My Saturday was spent doing photos, doing measurements, not a whole lot else. I cooked for myself. Real adulting stuff. Then I put everything back, and I'm really satisfied with the sound and the imaging that I have. It's quite exhilarating, but like I said, I have bass issues, so I think I'm satisfied with the sound imaging from this direction. It's just going to be bass frequencies and whatever else I can do from here, because right now I'm really satisfied. But the room and the physics of the room are fighting me with everything they have, and I'll have to figure it out from there. So if you have suggestions as well about bass and tuning, suggest them. Leave me a comment, a quote, or not leave a link, because YouTube doesn't like links, but copy something out so I can Google, talk about it, let me know what I can do. And then I'll check in with you maybe tomorrow. I haven't done a live in a long time, and I know Sunday's got a really busy schedule, so I'll have to see if everybody's cool with that. Anyhow, I'll check in with you again. Keep your eyes on Instagram and Facebook for photos and otherwise. I hope to have a series of photos posted in the week. I just need to get permissions and approvals, all that stuff. And yeah, it is what it is. All right. Thanks for watching this one. Hopefully everything makes sense. I appreciate you hanging out for 14 and a half minutes. Again, the secret word of the day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Yes? Cool? All right. Have a good weekend. Thank you.